Ethiopia, the nation of fairness, the symbol of justice, the origin of mankind. Ethiopia Today is the English-language news channel which brings the latest from Ethiopia, mainly focusing on economy and IT digitalization. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Brooke from Ethiopia Today. Our news today. The Ethiopian Electric Power has recently announced that the Sudanese government's formal request to purchase 1,000 megawatts of electricity from Ethiopia. Ethiopia is among the emerging economies who has registered the greatest rise in GDP per capita in US dollars in 2011 to 2021. We will look into an overview of the performance of the newly opened port of Somaliland, Berbera. Ethiopia won 4 medals in Tokyo Olympics as the Games wrapped up on Sunday, the 8th of August 2021. The news in detail. Ethiopian Electric Power, EEP, has recently announced that the Sudanese government's formal request to purchase 1,000 megawatts of electricity from Ethiopia. Despite ongoing disputes between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project, the government of Sudan reportedly submitted a formal request to purchase 1,000 megawatts of electricity from Ethiopia, as the information from Reporter Media disclosed. According to Ethiopian Electric Power, experts drawn both from Ethiopia and Sudan are consulting and reviewing the Sudan's latest request to purchase electricity. The source also shows that Ethiopian Electric Power Enterprise is receiving similar requests from a number of other African countries who have expressed their interest to purchase electricity from Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Electric Power experts from Ethiopia have recently traveled to Sudan to discuss over the matter, while Sudanese counterparts are expected to arrive here in Addis Ababa shortly. As confirmed by the reporter, it is yet unknown whether the power output to be purchased is generated from the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam or not. Other neighboring countries including the South Sudan, Kenya and Djibouti have also shown similar level of interest in purchasing electric power from Ethiopia, and negotiations are underway. The construction of a 500-kilowatt transmission line is nearing completion, and members of the Kenyan parliament will visit Ethiopia next week for further discussion. The statement by the company also indicates that Ethiopia has built transmission line infrastructure that could carry 2,000 megawatts to Tanzania and up to South Africa beyond Kenya. East Africa Power Policy has conducted a study that enables Somaliland to get power from Ethiopia with the support of the World Bank, as the reporter further highlights. As a next step to the South Sudanese expressed interest, a team of experts from Ethiopian Electric Power will soon travel to South Sudan to conduct a study on the construction of the power line. All these clearly show the high expectations from countries of the Horn of Africa and key benefits that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, will be bringing for every neighboring nation. GERD revives the socio-economy of not only Ethiopia but also the region. Ethiopia is among the emerging economies who has registered the greatest rise in GDP per capita in US dollars in 2011 to 2021. Fitch Ratings London, the 22nd of July 2021, reports that weak emerging market EM GDP growth is weighing on sovereign ratings. Fitch Ratings says the median rise in GDP per capita in US dollars at market exchange rates for 81 Fitch-rated emerging markets over 2011 to 2021 is set to be only 10%, compared with 39% for the US. Median real GDP growth has been slowing since the mid-2000s but still averaged 4% over 2010 to 2019. However, it can paint an overly rosy picture of living standards where it reflects population growth or is undercut by real exchange rate depreciation, as report indicates. GDP in US dollar terms is relevant in capturing a country's weight in global trade and financial markets or its capacity to service foreign currency debt, mainly in US dollars. Weak GDP growth can exacerbate fiscal, social and political risks. The lower a country's growth rate, the larger the primary budget balance it must run to stabilize debt over GDP for a given interest rate, as Fitch Ratings indicates. The 20 worst performing countries on growth in GDP per capita in US dollars have had a 2.4-notch decline in their average ratings since end of 2010 compared with 1.3 notches average for all emerging markets and no net change for the 20 best performing countries. The trends also reflect factors such as oil prices and economic distress. Based on Fitch's forecasts for this year, the emerging markets with the greatest rise in GDP per capita in US dollars in 2011 to 2021 are Bangladesh, Ethiopia, China, Laos, and Vietnam. While the greatest decline observed in countries such as Angola, Suriname, Lebanon, and Brazil. Emerging markets' growth prospects will depend on factors, including the pandemic's evolution, commodity prices, investment rates, demographics and labor market participation, structural reforms, export market growth, the quality of governance and policy making, debt overhangs, and vulnerability to shocks. We wanted to have a brief look into the performance of the newly opened port of Somaliland, Berbera, and update on this. Recently, a new port has been officially opened in Berbera, Somaliland, which should help boost exports between the Horn of Africa and the Gulf region. Consequently, Ethiopia acquired 20% of the Berbera port from Somaliland. The agreement was reached after a meeting in Mogadishu between Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia and President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo of Somalia. Ethiopia and Somalia have announced plans to invest in 4 key seaports and an international highway network as a way of attracting foreign investment. Port Berbera has already started its cargo operations immediately. The Ethiopian cargo ship called Shubale has delivered at least twice after the inauguration. The container port is also potentially of huge benefit to Ethiopia, which is currently reliant on Djibouti for its exports and imports. As report further indicate that Ethiopian government and Dubai's DP World, one of the world's largest port operators, have also signed agreement of $1 billion deal to create a trade and logistics corridor between Ethiopia and Berbera. President Musbai Abdi of Somaliland tweeted about the new port, saying it made Berbera a regional trade hub and would make it a global center of trade and logistics. He is very grateful for his dreams turned into reality. Finally, Sebeket Gide won bronze medal in women's 10,000 km at the last-minute gasp of Tokyo Olympics. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed tweeted his congratulation message to Sebeket and to all Ethiopians. Araya Tesfamariam also congratulates Sebeket Gide by saying her as a true daughter of Tigray, honoring her motherland, Ethiopia. Altogether, the Ethiopian Olympics team won 4 medals in Tokyo Olympics, of which 1 gold in men's 10,000 km by Suleiman Bagara. Rest of the medals won are 1 silver and 2 bronze. Ethiopia is third after Kenya and Uganda in Africa, and ranked 56th globally. Overall, the Tokyo 2020 is not impressive for the Ethiopia as compared to the previous Olympic Games. May God bless Ethiopia and its people. Thanks for your time, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation and got something from it. Please give us a like, and share this to others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you will receive notification as soon as we upload new videos. And also feel completely free to comment. Thanks again.